All right, guys, got a little off-grid setup here. I've been working on the shop over the past week, and I figured I'd just kind of take you through the way we're working here. Now, it's still a work in progress. I still have to add some fuses, some inline fuses, and some fusible links and things like that. But the basic system runs on 12 volt. So I got 12 volt positive, which comes in through a switch. I got 12 volt negative. And I like 12 volt in theory. It makes sense because, number one, you really can't hurt yourself with 12 volt. You really got to go some. You got to get something hot. You can't electrocute yourself with 12 volts. So doing this with high school kids is really pretty safe. And that's the reason why I kind of like 12 volt. And the other reason is that there's a lot of things available that run on 12 volts. So cars, boats, RVs very commonly have 12 volt systems. So you could buy any kind of 12 volt system, even just on Amazon, and we're going to run our lighting in our off-grid shed on 12 volt. And that should be relatively easy to do. I'm going to wire it up with 14.2, just like you'd wire up any kind of household device. String up your devices, and I'm just going to throw 12 volt bulbs in there. Real easy. Now, I have an inverter as well. This is a 12 volt DC to 110 volt AC, 3000 watt inverter. And when I did the math, I was trying to figure out, volts times amps equals watts. So I got 12 volts coming in. I need to make 3000 watts. So technically, at the minimum, I need to be able to run 250 amps if I'm servicing that full 3000 watts. So in order to do that, 250 amps, I need to run this giant cable. This is 4-aught or quadruple O or 4/0, whatever you want to call it. So that feeds my power into my inverter, is my force 4-aught. And I probably will wind up putting a fusible link in here. I got to find something for that. But that inverter allows me to run 2 zones at 15 amps. So I got a little sub-panel box in here. I still have to put some connections in, stuff like that. But I'm powering that with a 10 gauge 10-2 wire. And I'm jumping that over to both sides. So that can handle with about 30 amps safely. So I'm going to use that to feed my 15 amps on both sides of my fuse panel, and that'll give me 2 zones at 110 volts at 60 hertz. So that'll be nice. Now the next thing is that, well, if you're using all this power, eventually your batteries are going to drain. So how do we keep the batteries charged? You do that with a charge controller. So I'm going to be running 2 410 watt solar panels. They're inside these boxes here. Those solar panels are going to feed my charge controller, and that charge controller is going to feed into my bus, and that'll charge the batteries. I got 2, I think they're 200 amp hour lead time lithium ion batteries. Yep, 200 amp hour. I'm going to wire those up in parallel so I stay at 12 volts, and that charge controller will enable me to charge and maintain those batteries. Now, you get those days where you get clouds, you get rain, and you don't want your power to drain completely out. So if I'm running a fridge or something, I want to be able to keep that fridge running. So if I do run out of power and I'm not able to charge it, I have an additional charger. And this runs off a generator. I could literally plug this in, or I plug this into shore power, plug it into an outlet, wherever I need to do, and that will actually top off my batteries too. That'll maintain my batteries here. And that's controlled through this little guy right here. So this is my IOTA charger, off-grid charger. The photovoltaics or the solar cells bring in really high voltage, so you don't need to have really thick cables. So they're bringing in high voltage, and they run into this this switching box, and that allows me to shut off my solar panels. If I ever have to service anything, I shut that off. And my main power on my 12 volt battery comes in through here. That's on 4-aught as well. and that allows me to shut down the whole system. So between this switch here and this switch here, I could shut down power to everything. I go ahead and service this. I could work on this and maintain any kind of stuff that I have to. Yeah, but other than that, I'm probably going to wind up putting some sort of a fusible link or relay inside the IOTA charger, as well as inside my solar charge controller. But I'm getting pretty close here finishing this thing up, and I'm just pretty excited about actually running this thing and seeing how it works. I did the math. I think I ought to be able to run about 7.5 amps continuous. So that would be probably like 2 refrigerators continuous without ever having to maintain the batteries with any sort of external source. So just the solar alone should be able to run everything I need on a small house. Now this is not really a huge system. This is only running 2 zones at 15 amps and just a small 12 volt panel. This would not be enough to handle any kind of air conditioner unless you're only running it for a few hours a day. But it would be enough to run appliances, use a microwave here and there, to run a TV, to run all the lighting you want for, I'd say, probably up to about 500 square foot. And it's all free power. You know, it's all power that's derived from the sun. So pretty excited about this. If you wanted more power, it would just be a matter of getting more batteries, getting more solar cells. You'd probably need a bigger inverter. You'd need either an additional or a bigger charge controller. Everything just sort of steps up. And if I was going to do this again, I'd probably look into running either a 24 or 48 volt system. Probably 24. 24 is not big enough to hurt you. 48 will give you a pretty good buzz. But the only thing about that is if I want to run anything DC, then that stuff kind of is a little bit harder to find, and it's a little bit more expensive as well. But that's my system. I just want to share it with you guys and look forward to powering it up. Stay tuned.